A boy on a lawn. A boy in a blue blazer and white pants sits with his hands in his lap and frowns at the camera, bow tie crooked, white hanky peeking from his pocket, ears growing faster than the rest of him. He's alone on the lawn between a narrow sidewalk and a white picket fence, the tips of his fingers together, right thumb on top of the left. The date of the photograph, August 56. The boy is 5 years and a few months old. Did the photographer encourage him to pose like this on the grass? Was he angry when the shutter snapped? Bored or hungry? We'll never know the answers. My mother, the photographer, died long ago, and I have no memory of that day. The lawn I'm sitting on is my home, the Burkett Manor, a 3-story apartment block in Calgary. A close look reveals the bottom of a clothesline pole, but what's not visible are the laundry lines attached to the top of the pole, or the laundry platform where tenants stand to hang laundry, or the rusted burning barrel I'm staring at. Trolley buses no longer rush past on 17th Avenue, the old houses across the street demolished long ago. I never entered the Calgary School of Music, an accordion school run by a cousin of my father's that I never met. At 21 on a dare, I had my ear pierced at Marcel Jewelers next door. My father mowed the grass every week, a result of constant waterings and feedings of fertilizer brought home from the Cominco fertilizer plant where he worked. Mum planted the snapdragons and other flowers blooming in the tiny bed along the fence. In other photos, I'm in the same blazer and pants without the bow tie. In one, you can see my missing teeth, droopy striped socks, and a wide hem on my pants. I smile with the innocence of the child I am. I'm no different than any other boys who grew up in this city back then. Unexpected encounters will change me and throw me off course. I know now how and when I became an adult, when I changed and how I didn't. A much older version of that boy sometimes still sits alone and wears clothes that don't suit him, who frowns more often than he should. Although I'm far away in time and place, this boy lives in me. I haven't forgotten how he felt, how he couldn't wait to be older, ached to be elsewhere, yearned for better days, always wanted to be different than who he was. A few years ago, I flew to Calgary from Vancouver, not to look up old friends or find initials carved in an old cottonwood tree, long since felled to make way for condos. The apartment was my first stop. The illumined letters that spelled Burkett Manor have vanished, but the translucent glass box that lit the front stairwell were still there. Fake fluted columns and a portico replaced the icy concrete step I once sat on with Dad as we waited for his ride to pull up in the no parking zone out front. New cornices and trim embellished each window. A locked wrought iron fence keeps unwanted visitors from the lawn. The laundry pole, platform, and burning barrel were gone, along with the front lawn. A small part of the hedge my father planted remained, but the white picket fence no longer separated the lot next door. Dad planted that Cotoneaster hedge in 1952, soon after the 3 of us moved in. I don't remember him planting the hedge or know if Mum helped him. I was less than a year old then, but I know that every fall he sheared the top off to make it bushier and stronger. The rented apartments were now privately owned condos. The Burkett Manor is in the same spot where it's always been on 17th Avenue west of the Stampede grounds, kitty corner from the liquor store. It's easy to find, but you can no longer walk inside as you once could. At one time, an old wooden screen was an inviting front door. Now the entrance is fortified behind a heavy locked door. Names on the intercom outside are not the ones once written on small cards on metal mailboxes in the lobby. Places and people change, but despite facelifts and gussied up surfaces, essential elements remain. I strolled down 17th Avenue where I delivered newspapers, crossed a side street and came upon an entire block I had forgotten. Old shops and businesses replaced by trendy restaurants and fast food outlets. Another block was in the wrong place. I walked the side streets I played on as a child, visited my first school, the sandstone building replaced by a modern nondescript rectangle. I searched for fragments from my childhood, but details were different, my vivid memories wrong. The more I walked, the more I mistrusted what I remember. An old friend invited me to her studio across town. She gave driving directions. One great delight of returning to your hometown is the ease with which you can travel from place to place without getting lost. I learned to walk, bicycle, and drive in Calgary, names and addresses imprinted in my brain after 3 years of sorting mail at the Calgary post office. Not once had I felt lost until that morning. I found myself on a street in one of the oldest parts of the city. I must have been there before, but whatever memory I had of Inglewood had vanished. I was in a foreign, unfamiliar place. Much of what we remember about our lives is subjective, an interpretation, more what we need to be true than what really happened. You can describe what you saw or felt, recount where and when events occurred, but too often the retelling is as much fiction as fact. That's fine. We share the truth of our stories the only way we can.